Carroll's name is missing. He's out of the action. Bobby Fulton, the coach. Des Hasler back to the bench. Kosef, second row tonight. Jeff Turvey, man of the series in State of Origin, and still wearing quite a shiner there on the left eye. Big crowd in. I was told by their marketing man Peter Peters that the pre-sales of tickets have been of record proportions. They drew almost 22,000 to North Sydney back at Easter, and I've got little doubt that it's up around that mark tonight. Now the Bears, the conquerors of Manly in round 3. Manly have only lost the one. It was against their brothers from the north side. They've had their problems with injuries as well. Their fullback is out tonight. David Hall is listed there, but he'll play on the wing, I'm told. Nigel Roy will go to the fullback position. Dallas Icon Florimo, Butner Taylor Moore, Wilson Larson Trindle, Soden and Stewart. Peter Louis, the coach. Greg Florimo, one of the long service Bears that is hoping that 96 will be their year. Stephen Roach, good evening.
Good evening, Ray. How heartening it is to see such a packed crowd for the local derby between North Sydney and Manly after that rubbish I read today by David Campese saying that our game is dead. Well, I can tell you, David, it isn't dead. This should be a good game. Unfortunately for Norths, can't be at full strength. They're missing Fairley, and David Hall moving back to fullback. I expect plenty of the pressure to be put on him tonight.
I thought you had a bee in the bonnet when I was looking at those eyes earlier.
Yeah, mate, I'm not happy with his comments today. Our game is not dead.
Good on you, big fella.
I know he's unhappy when he uses Christian names.
North Sydney will run from right to left, and Kelvin Jeffs is the man with the whistle. The Bears kick off. Taylor does the job. Ridge sends Cunningham back. Fairley's not there for the Bears tonight. Sedaris off and away for Gardner. Daniel, without doubt, one of the form second rowers in the Optus Cup thus far.
And with no Mark Carroll tonight, Ray, I think you'll find that Owen Cunningham will actually play front row in his spot. He's a durable type Owen, normally a lock forward, but he'll fill in at front row pretty well.
Informed comments from the coach, who's back off his annual leave.
And the kick there from Pip Lyons was under pressure. Nigel Roy is in the fullback position. He takes it over the 40-metre line. Bob Fulton must have been very tempted to start the game with Neil Tierney. Pretty good game for them last time we saw them go round, and he is a specialist prop.
Now the Bears with their first use of the football, and this is Trindle now, 45 metres away from the Manly line, onto the right of the ground to come back up the centre with Josh Stewart. Now away from Soden, they pick up Craig Wilson. Wilson in a rare appearance in the run-on side for the Bears. Danny Moore scored those couple of very good tries against Brisbane last Friday. And now off and away for Gardner to take it out towards the 20-metre line. Hard meters, but well done. And then Sedaris into the hands of Kosef. Gary Larson doing a handstand there for a matter of seconds, and now David Gillespie. Almost 2 minutes gone, fifth tackle, Manly on their second set of 6 for the night. The kick of Matthew Ridge. Nigel Roy, formerly with the Illawarra side, and having a very good season. He's out on the 30-metre line.
He actually started the season in the fullback position with Matt Sears out with a broken arm, and was one of their form players. As Billy Moore, big charge there over the halfway line, great run, up 15 metres.
Taylor linking up on the blind side with Florimo. These two sides, of course, played their 100th premiership match back at North Sydney in front of 22,000 on Easter Sunday. As Taylor goes high, and they go up, and it came down off the back of John Hopewadi. Now he's ruled that they played at the ball, and it's the start of the tackle count again. David Hall, short ball for Soden to go into Larson, and then for Taylor. Taylor wrapped up by his opposite number. Soden the dummy half. It was all a little bit too slow from North Sydney. Stewart. Soden from dummy half. He tries to burrow underneath them. Quick play the ball, and then to the left of the ground. Wilson gets a pass away. It came off Billy Moore. It went forward. And referee Kelvin Jeffs will bring it back to the 10-metre line.
And so Manly handled the early pressure. All the defence by Manly. Short ball put on by Wilson. Cliff Lyons had the hole covered, and Billy Moore dropped the football.
Interesting ruling by Kelvin Jeffs off the bomb. I'm not saying he was wrong. Don't take me that way at all, but it looked to come down off the back of John Hopewadi, who it was ruled had played at the ball. Now maybe it came off another Manly player. There it is there, watch it. It's come off Hopewadi, but it's come off his shoulder or back. Originally he was going to play at the ball. I'd prefer to run with the referee as being spot on. Cunningham comes back and takes a whacking from the North Sydney defence.
And he did pack into the front row in that last scrum, Owen Cunningham. Paul pointed out, very durable, very versatile. And of course, at the age of 29, played his first State of Origin game Monday evening.
Of course, Paul Vorton has that pipeline to the Manly club. Left it until the commentary to tell the people about Cunningham. He didn't tell anybody before the match. He just kept it up his sleeve for running commentary.
Ray, his preparation is superb.
That's right.
Does the homework, does the hard yards.
Here he is again, Cunningham now.
He blokes right.
Been a long time since he's had a victory, but...
Now Ridge rolls it down for Roy to bring it back, and that's the 20-metre line just behind him. 5 1/4 minutes gone. Opening match of round 12, and the penalty goes to the Bears. It's against Daniel Gardner for not retiring the 10. This young man, Kelvin Jeffs, was on the brink of his first Origin whistle. That honour, of course, went with David Manson. 1-1 the penalties. Now Trindle, who takes it up. Seemed to lose his impetus as he got to the defence line. Larson didn't. Cunningham's around the legs as North Sydney go inside the 20-metre line. Billy Moore. Good strong running by Billy Moore so far tonight. Taylor takes Stewart with him, then goes out for Aiken. A juggle by Ben Aiken. Florimo using Craig Wilson. He drops it on the boot. Ridge has to turn around. Oh, did he force it? Did he force it? The referee said yes.
Yes, no doubt about that. Matthew Ridge quite amused by it all. Realised he'd put downward pressure on the football. Very skillful player, Craig Wilson. No doubt about that, but Wilson, just to be on the safe side, he dived on the football as well. So good pressure from North Sydney, as it's been for the first 6 minutes of this game.
Ridge with the line dropout. Dallas goes back. Brilliant run by Brett Dallas. Ending on the 30-metre line. It's great field position. Larson just outside the 20 on tackle number 2. Soden pinches some metres on the blind side. Gardner and Hill combine to make the tackle on 3. Hall off to the right for Taylor. And then a pass around the back. Buechner and Aiken combine. Aiken flick passes. Dallas! Oh, desperate stuff by Danny Moore. Crushed out from Florimo. Buechner. 9 metres out from the line. The 5th. Taylor Oh, shocking pass. Picked up by Moore. Left foot kick by Moore. Not a bad one. There's a chance. David Hall. David Hall has been held up in goal.
And he was so unlucky, David Hall, because of the way he fell. He fell onto his back, and there was enough traffic there to stop him turning over and planting the football, but he definitely comes up with the take. Falls down, just can't get the ball placed. It was in his left hand.
Oh.
Good kick, Billy Moore.
Oh, yeah, well, he picked up that skill during the Queensland training camps, Billy, but David Hall just couldn't get out. Terry Hill, Matthew Rees did so well there, and now the relieving penalty goes to the Manly side.
This is David Gillespie. 35 metres out from their own line. Gardner trying to slide a pass for Innes, the centre.
And there we see one of the real strengths of this Manly side in attack. Able to stand their back rowers in the back line and not get in the way. Strong defence here from Norths. With the likes of Kosef, Daniel Gardner and Menzies, they'll lurk out wide all evening and they'll be a real handful. Here's Menzies out wide.
Heavy tackle up the top from Josh Stewart. Wilson was underneath. Tuvey was looking for somebody, but he couldn't find them. So Dallas it is who brings it back. Lost his footing. Menzies cleans him up over the top. Roy. Six times they've played away, the Bears, and 4 times they've won. Manly, a perfect record at home. Butner, whose form has been outstanding. Their purchasing this year has been excellent. The Bears, and all of those purchases have provided the goods as Hopewadi is under some pressure. I thought he got it down, but did he get it down over the line or on the line? The referee says line dropout. Pretty
handy kick there from Jason Taylor. Just had enough weight on it to make things difficult for John Hopewadi, and a good chase. The chasers stayed on side. Ben Ike and David Hall, the men, to keep Hopewadi in goal.
Steve Roach is with Mark Carroll on the sideline. Steve, take it.
Mark, this is the one that you wouldn't want to miss, a local derby, but a knee injury, I believe.
Yeah, mate, I copped it about 2 weeks ago and I played last week with it and it got a bit worse. I've got a cork underneath my kneecap, so it should be only 1 week, hopefully.
Bit of a worry early in this match. North's on top at the moment.
Certainly is. We haven't had much ball. Our defence has been pretty good, but we've just got to keep getting back on these kicks.
And knowing Cunningham would be happy moving up into the front row.
Todd's just filthy on me, I tell you. He's got to be one of the smallest front rows, but I tell you, he won't let us down.
Okay, mate. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mark Carroll. Thank you, Steve Roach. Stewart plays it on the 20-metre line. The Bears launching another attack. Butner works an angle with Florimo. Florimo eventually put away. 10 metres out from the line. And now for Taylor. Short pass, run around. Puts the kick in. Rebounded off Tuvey. And so Jeffs doesn't restart the tackle count. He didn't play at the ball. Taylor and Butner. Butner gets it apart. Oh, I thought for a moment Nigel Roy was going to cruise in for a try. It went to ground. No score after 11 minutes. Welcome back to Friday Night Football. Exclusive on the 9 Network. Craig Innes. Coming soon, of course, to our rugby league coverage, Monday Night Football. July the 8th. And a big one between Sydney City and Brisbane. From the Sydney Football Stadium, Monday, July 8th. And then Lions and Menzies. And rapid-fire passing almost sees Menzies into some open space. Manly appear to have been very much deprived of possession in this game. Looking at the tackle count, it doesn't reflect that necessarily. But territorially, it's been all the Bears. Nigel Roy comes back to be ringed by the Manly defence. Now, Manly will work for the mistake. They haven't been inside North Sydney's 20-metre zone until just now. Trindle came back with gusto.
Brett Dallas is doing a great job for North Sydney in their own danger area, getting those quick metres and a good play the ball, and that's allowing the forwards to benefit a ruck or two later. Mark Soden now with plenty of space to kick, and he gets a good one down over the 20-metre line. Danny Moore takes it on the second bounce.
Moore then tries to circle the oncoming defence. Mark Soden quite groggy after being taken out. Referee saw it, and that was the hit by Menzies. He had no way in the world of pulling out of it. Terry Hill is 30 metres out from his own line. And this is Cunningham. Wrapping himself round the legs, Craig Wilson. Coming over the top, Gary Larson. Manly then off to the left, and they've got plenty of depth out there. Innes runs onto the pass from Lyons. The fifth tackle, so Ridge falls in on the right, but Sidaris kicks out of dummy half, and he finds the line. Nice work by Jim Sidaris. Just gives them that little bit of optional work. Dummy half that can kick.
And whilst the Manly defence this season has been absolutely fantastic, North's defence so far tonight has been brilliant. Everything Manly are trying. They do a lot of inside balls, Manly, looking for the man to get tired in the defence, but so far Norths are controlling all that. Josh Stewart's had a good start to the match as well. He's been taking the ball up very hard. Looks like he's off to the blood bin with a cut lip.
In fact, both sides like to use the inside pass with the angled runner. And we'll see Michael Butner tonight. He loves to bring a man around, throw the dummy and straighten himself. He's got a couple of tries this season doing exactly that. And that's Big Dallas Weston, former Parramatta player, coming off the bench, sliding straight into the front row.
So the Bears with Brett Dallas again, tackled just outside their 20-metre line. Butner offloading for Florimo. Florimo away from Tuvey, tries to get rid of Terry Hill. Hill hangs on, and the ball has been won by Manly. Jeff Tuvey jumping on it with no dummy half. Lyons and Ridge now out wide, given down for Sidaris over the 40-metre line. Lyons and Moore. Danny Moore put down, and the ball has been lost. The referee is going to put a scrum down.
Straight away the Bears were in trouble because both centres were on this side of the field. When Manly realised that, they threw the ball wide. The Bears scrambled quite well. Eventually a simple mistake from the ball carrier. This is Greg Florimo playing the football. No dummy half got there. Jeff Tuvey reacted quickly. The Bears win this scrum.
Nigel Roy. And now Billy Moore. North Sydney almost to the halfway line now. They come down the blind side with David Hall. Confronted there by Terry Hill. And then Jason Taylor. That's where they're at, 40 metres out. Wilson puts a kick in, looking for the line and finding it. About 10 metres away from the Manly line.
Now, I'm afraid I don't really understand those tactics. It wasn't the last tackle, and they were in attacking position. You'd have thought they might have had one more go with the ball in their hands, and then on the last put up the big bomb. All this has really done is hand over a scrum feed to their opposition, who will work 6 tackles out from the 10-metre mark.
It's a fair way away. We'll stay up, Dallas. And all the way. No push, no push.
Jeff Tuvey then, working the scrum. Back, as Peter said, on the 10-metre line. And then Terry Hill is met and pulled down by Roy. Ridge comes out from dummy half. Very much a game of to and fro. But as I said earlier, the territory has very much been with the Bears. Gillespie driven back under the tackle there of Weston and Butner. Was it? No, it was Larson. Gardner. Centre of the ground, 33 metres out now from their line. Kosev tries to make the break. 5 tackles gone for Manly. Cliffy Lyons drilling it down into the corner. And they're going to have to try and bring it back. That's not possible for Nigel Roy. Beautifully weighted kick by Cliffy Lyons.
And this is what Manly have been looking for. Every kick they've done so far tonight, Manly, has been from within their own half. But this is a fantastic kick and a great chase. The likes of Tuvey, Jim Sedaris down there. They don't come any better than that from Cliff Lyons as far as the kick's concerned. Innes and Moore end up making the tackle.
Yeah, you'll never see a better kick in general play than that one. And I still believe that comes back to Craig Wilson just putting the ball over the sideline at the other end of the field.
Gillespie's off. Neil Tierney has just gone on.
Jason Taylor's dropout. Fielded by Ridge. And that is Tierney. Jumper number 14. 19 minutes gone. And no score. Gardner. This is the best opportunity that Manly have had. It's a long time, isn't it? And here's Innocent Moore taking play to the 10-metre line. Sedaris. Tuvey. Cuts out Tierney, picks up Lyon. Cuts out Menzies, picks up Ridge. Then Hill. 10 metres out from the line, Ridge. Turns it back for Cunningham. Held up and forced back. Last tackle. Sedaris. Lions. Manly crowd looking for their first try. Referee Kelvin Jeffs will put a turnover together.
Well, there was a mile of space out there then. I thought Manly had about a 3 or 4 man overlap, but instead of passing, they went for the kick. And all to no avail.
Gary Larson. Norths get a penalty. That will help. Jim Sedaris apparently the culprit. It took too long to get off Gary Larson. Wonderful crowd in at Brookvale tonight. It's a great sight, great setting. Probably 22,000 out there as a backdrop to this north of the harbour clash. Weston. Now Wilson. They're back down on the Manly 30-metre line, where it's Taylor. He kicks for Dallas on that right flank. Here's a go, and it's been forced by Danny Moore. Well, no score, 21 minutes gone. Welcome back to Brookvale. Manly and the Bears. No score with a quarter of the game gone. The fullback, Roy. Back there because of the withdrawal of Matt Sears. Larson did well. Soden offloads. Roy gives it for Taylor, and then across for Butner. Now Kelvin Jeffs has found a knock on.
Oh, the North Sydney players are blowing up here. I can't believe there was a knock on involved. In fact, they were signalling 6 again. So they believe Manly touched the football.
Yeah, well, the touch judge has corrected Kelvin Jeffs.
Cliff Lyons' left hand was the key hand there. So it will be a Jason Taylor feed.
Well, that's a good piece of work by the touch judge. There's Butner now, finds Florimo, then Roy, and then Aiken hitting the ball hard. Tuvey making the tackle. Tuvey's blowing up at the touch judge. And Wondering why Dallas Weston forces the ball 15 metres out from the Manly line. Soden on his own. Menzies swamps him. Now Moore. Then Taylor. Now Wilson. Shows it back to Taylor. 8 metres out from the line. Taylor. Long ball. Finding Florimo. Moore. Oh, he shovels it down. It was play on for Florimo. 5 gone. Moore. Taylor. Taylor. Shape the kick. Flick passes for Roy. The ball goes to ground and Manly have got it.
Well, it's magnificent defence once again from Manly. Any inside pass being thrown by the Bears is cut off. There, Jason Taylor attempting the surprise package, running the football on the last. But again, the Seagulls rose to the occasion. And now another penalty.
And it's not as if Peter Norths aren't trying. They've got so many skillful players out there. Craig Wilson, Billy Moore, Jason Taylor, who are doing all sorts of things with the football. Butner, Florimo. But Manly so far have held them out.
The great thing about the Manly defence is that they don't drop off. Even if a tackler is not involved where the football is, they go to the area that they should be. So if an inside pass is thrown, somebody's always there. They don't get lazy.
Just on that subject, nobody absorbs pressure as well as Manly, and I'm sure Steve Roach has something to say about that.
Well, the thing that happens with them, they don't get flustered. North Sydney, it's been all North Sydney in the first half. If I was them, I'd be a little bit worried going only 20 minutes, 15 minutes left on the clock that I haven't scored.
Yeah. They've certainly had most of the opportunities. Tierney puts on a run. 18 metres away from the North Sydney line. Still no score in the opening to round 12. Lyons and Menzies. Menzies taken by Moore. Soden came over the top. This is the last tackle. Lyons, he rolls it in. Charles, oh yeah! Oh yes! That is a beauty for Craig Innes. What a kick by Cliffy Lyons.
Yeah, great kick. Not much space in behind the front line of North Sydney, but Cliff Lyons found it. And Craig Innes, who's really been a revelation since joining the club, he flies through. He's onside. No problem at all there. Cliff Lyons' kicking game so far has been spot on.
The Norths have had a problem on that side of the defence. They're a bit light on. There's no one outside Butner. And Craig Innes came storming through the gap to get that beautiful kick from Cliffy. Something had to crack, and it was right here. The North Sydney cover defence just could not get there.
What were you saying, Steve Roach?
Oh, they look the goods, don't they? They had all the pressure against them and they turn it over in one set of 6 tackles. The try comes off the end of it.
Yeah, but you'd only just uttered the words that you'd be worried if you're North Sydney. 22 minutes gone, all the opportunities and no eggs in the basket. Matthew Ridge then from 18 metres out. Chance to put Manly 2 more points in front. There's the kick from one of the super boots. 6-0, Manly over the Bears. 26 minutes gone.
He's down under on 9.
This almost capacity crowd, I would imagine. Manly leading 6-0. The first points in the game coming at the 26th minute, I think it was.
And what great touch it was from Cliff Lyons, as we pointed out. Difficult to combat. You can't play a sweeper in defence that close to your line. The winger is generally wide, looking for that cross kick, which is so much in vogue these days. And the fullback tends to be where the football is being kicked from and over towards the post more. And Cliff Lyons, he threaded the needle and just put the right amount of weight on it for his flying chasers.
That's Terry Hill, I think. Yeah, Terry Hill getting some attention from the Sheriff. As Ridge puts in a kick, barreled by Larson, but it wasn't late. And now David Hall. Tackle back on his 30-metre line. Roy, he loses it. Menzies is there to pounce. Well, the Bears was sailing along comfortably. It was all precision work. And now all of a sudden a couple of mistakes and they're not only behind on the scoreboard, but they're on the end of another Manly attacking raid. Problems for Sidaris. Tooby then with a short pass, finding Kearney. There's the 20-metre line behind them. Tooby comes back looking for somebody. Lyons beats one and has taken in another. 15 is on. That's Danny Williams. Sidaris off to the left. And then for Crossair. Tooby. Lyons puts the kick in. Ridge, I thought, was offside. It'll be a penalty. Penalty goes to the Bears. Ridge was offside and must stay 10 metres away from the North Sydney player.
Yeah, Cliffy was looking to use the numbers that Manly had out here wide. He was waiting to select someone to pass it to. But in the meantime, they all overran it, so he decided to put the kick in. And Ridge offside. Good decision there by Kelvin Jeffs.
Weston comes off. 3-3 the penalties. 6-0 the score. This is Josh Stewart. And this is going to be a scrum.
Well, yeah, Josh Stewart, North Sydney players blowing up because as Haslam made the tackle, they felt that he might have pushed Stewart late as he was trying to get up. But no, it's just a simple drop ball there from Stewart.
Manly defenders have obviously been instructed to try and get the players on their backs. That's why we've seen them come in a couple of times, trying to roll them on their backs to slow the play the ball down. As Terry Hill tries to get on the outside of Icon. What a great battle in the centres between two of the most exciting young players in the game.
Kosef. Trindle underneath. Larson over the top. They come back down the right. Tierney. Williams underneath and Taylor over the top. Now a good attacking position. Hasler. Long pass for Tuvey. Second man play for Lyons. Two dummies and then Innes. 31 minutes coming up. And then Menzies. Menzies. Flung into the ground by Williams. 5 gone. Where's Cliffy Lyons? It's gone to Ridge. A drop goal. No pressure applied on Ridge. And a further point. Manly 7-0 now.
And why not? It's not going to be a high-scoring match. We can see the quality of defence involved tonight. Means that there aren't going to be a lot of points scored, and all of a sudden the opposition have to score twice. Psychologically, that is a blow to North Sydney, especially when they've had all of the running. Now from probably the last 5 minutes, they look at the scoreboard and it's not justified.
Terry Hill. .99 tackles in total for the Bears. 89 for Manly. Just watching the game, you probably find it hard to believe that that statistic. 7-0 Manly. Menzies. Menzies, an inside pass. Gardner put away by Williams. That hurt. Lyons offered the run around across F. The angle is there for Hill. Now for Menzies. 30-metre line. Manly player in back play is down injured. It's Terry Hill again. Then Lyons. Kicks into the bottom corner. Oh, the marker. Had it, lost it, got it back.
Yeah, Nigel Roy, good work by him. Terry Hill, he's down injured again and he'll have to come off. There's a few injury worries here for Manly. Zim Sidaris on the sideline with a crook leg. Nigel Roy gets it, loses it, clings on.
What's the story on Sidaris, Steve?
Yeah, he's got a cork knee. He'll be back, and that's the second knock to the head for Terry Hill. He's now leading the field. Jack Ells good on.
Terry Hill leaving with Slight concussion, it would seem. Elsgood has gone on. Stewart plays it. And that is Williams. Both he and Stewart, they play well above their weight. Billy Moore. Good time for North Sydney. I mean, any time's a good time to put points on, but just right now, Manly have got a few problems, as Paul Vaughton pointed out. Soden comes down the blind. Wilson goes up the centre. Larson pushes to the right. Then Taylor. Now it's Eichen it is. Ben Eichen. Playing it back for Greg Florimo. Then Taylor. Taylor's kick is high. It's given the runners every possible chance. It's gone to ground. And it's a line dropout.
Well, this must be Manly's 4th or 5th line dropout. That's shown the pressure that their opposition has exerted tonight, but they continue to remain solid, although Hopewadi couldn't take that one. Can't be offside in your in-goal area. Ridges dived on that one to give away the line dropout.
Very interesting point that Peter makes. You can't be offside in your own in-goal. You can be penalised, though, for deliberately passing the ball forward. Now the line dropout. Bouncing down for the Bears, 40 metres out. Nigel Roy.
It does seem to be their best weapon, doesn't it, the high kick. They've had a lot of pressure on Manly through those high bombs. Pinpoint accuracy here from Jason Taylor.
I think you've got to kick for a bloke like Brett Dallas again too, Paul, and impose him on the game, just reinforcing the opposition's mind how quick he is.
There's some slack marker play here from Manly. They've got to be careful.
Soden will want to be careful, trying to push the marker away. Here they come with Buettner's pass. Oh, David Hall. That was a classic piece of wing play there. Eichen then. Through from Wilson. A terrible pass. Williams. 15 metres out from the line. Close to half-time. Taylor waits it, looking for Buettner. Danny Moore will take it back to the 20-metre line.
Yeah, good work, and let's see who puts their hand up to take the ball up. John Hopewadi coming in for the wing, gets an easy 12 metres. Danny Moore now playing in the centres. Jack Elsgood on the left wing, where Moore was. Menzies tries to make some ground.
Oh, Menzies tried too hard.
And loses.
North Sydney have come up with the ball. They've got a chance now. They're on their first tackle. Eichen. Stewart. Good yards. 15 metres away, in fact, from the Manly line. Down the blind side, David Hall. Soden. Taylor. Florimo. Angle for Roy. 11 out. Now they're in the centre. Taylor calls it on the right. Puts the kick in. Dallas is flying. He's missed it. But they've still got the try. Billy Moore. Billy Moore, I think, has got the try. Yes, he has.
Billy's got the try, all right. What about Brett Dallas? He was going too quickly.
He's overrun the tarmac, Dallas.
Yeah, good kick there. Reminiscent of what we saw from the Seagulls at the other end. You see the Manly defence coming up out wide. Very tough to turn and chase. Jack Elsgood couldn't. Didn't get the bounce, Dallas. And Billy Moore just in the field of play. Touches down.
Well, lovely kick here from Taylor. Gets taken out by Menzies. They've all gone whooshka past the football. Elsgood was concentrating on Dallas, and that's a fair try.
Well, Billy loves it. Oh, yeah, come on, smoking, he says. Kicking the grass.
Well, that is a tremendous piece of confidence-boosting play for North Sydney right on the stroke of half-time. And you've got to think with the success rate of this kicker, Jason Taylor's an even money bet of putting it over. Doesn't look like much of a target, does it? But 93 times out of 100, it threads the needle.
It all goes back to Steve Menzies pushing the pass that didn't have to be made. Look at this kick. Oh, he's got draw on it. That's a Greg Norman 9-9. 7-6 Manly by a point.
Well, it definitely wasn't a Ray Warren 9-9. They go along the ground. But Billy Moore, he's thinking, they've got to get this one. He missed one for Queensland the other night, and he's got that one. Oh,
Not emotional at all, Billy.
Look at this. Look at this.
Well, we've got the two sharpshooters, haven't we, this evening? Matthew Ridge and Jason Taylor, and none better than Jason Taylor this season. Just about every time a 4 points has been put on the board, he's turned it into 6. And this is shaping up as some game of football. Gary Larson now takes the ball forward, 15 out. Only a minute or two out from the break.
Just interesting statistic that I want to share with you. You remember only a few minutes back I told you that North Sydney had made 99 tackles to Manly's 89. And when that try was scored, Manly suddenly had skyrocketed to 124 tackles to North Sydney's 105. So Manly, with Sedaris and Hill in trouble, were under a bombardment of attack requiring a lot of defence. And then the try came. Ridge bringing it back. Jack Elsgood. 7-6. Matthew Ridge field goal. The difference. Jimmy Sedaris back in the action. We come up to the halftime break. Craig Guinness it was who played the ball for the last time. The Manly try scorer. Billy Moore got the North Sydney try. And there's the scoreboard. Manly 7, the Bears 6. 40 minutes gone, 40 minutes to go. A break, and then we're back with Peter Sterling and Paul Vorton on Nines Rugby League.
The tough local derby here at Brookvale Oval, and after 40 minutes, that's exactly what we've seen. Manly just with their nose in front, 7 points to 6. And statistically, well, for the first 25 minutes, North Sydney really had all the play. That's reflected to some extent in the time in possession. The big statistic is the line breaks. Plenty of both sides have made some half breaks, but no one's been able to bust the line, and that's why the kick has been so important in this first half. Great statistic, the missed tackles, only 13 between these sides, and not too many handling errors. So a high-quality game of football. And Paul Vorton, we expect that too, because these sides will be in, well, probably not the top 8, they'll be in the top 4.
And about it, Pete, two very fine football sides, a very absorbing clash, plenty of fine attack, but the defence has been outstanding from both sides and chances have been limited.
And when the kick is, or the defence is so solid against you, the kick is the obvious way to go, and that's been the most dangerous weapon for both sides. After 8 minutes, we saw Billy Moore put the kick up and nearly came up with a result.
Well, he's got it all, Billy, fantastic rugby league player, and he puts this little one up, and luckily for Manly that Matthew Ridge got there first, then Terry Hill saw the danger and kept David Hall on his back.
Well, that was the best chance early in the game, and for the first 25 minutes really North Sydney had a lot of the momentum. The flow was going their way, so to some degree against the run of play, Cliff Lyons was able to conjure some magic for Craig Innes.
I think it was only the first or second time that Manly had been down in this particular area of the field, and Cliff, he always looks around, he sees what's around out wide. He saw some space there, saw that Craig Innes is running through and put the beautiful little tip in there for Innes to score the first try.
It's not often that we see a field goal kicked fairly early in the match, and I guess there's two ways of looking at that. If you're defending, you probably feel as though, oh, well, it's an admission they can't break through us. But for Manly, 6-0 going to 7-0 psychologically is quite a blow.
Well, English coach Alex Murphy always used to say to me, if you're down there, come away with something. And on this occasion, Matthew Ridge has come away with a point. Good idea at the time. Bob Fulton is not a fan of field goals, I can tell you that, but I think he'll appreciate that, and it may end up being a match winner. We saw, of course, State of Origin, how a field goal turned that game around, didn't we?
We did indeed, Paul. The try just before half-time, I got the feeling that if Manly had have been the next point scorer in this match, then it would have been all too tough for the North Sydney side, and that's no disrespect to them. So really important on the stroke of half-time for North to put on their first points.
Once again, from the kick, we see so many tries these days scored from kicks. And Jason Taylor, he's had a great battle out there with Jeff Tuvey in the halfback role, and even though he went down, he sits himself up and sees that Billy Moore just gets inside that line there, and the touch judges, they all had a conference and they decided it was a try. And Billy, he is smoking out there. On you, Billy.
Now, there's obviously nothing between these sides, so you're looking for some sort of edge, and it may be for North Sydney with the fact a couple of players busted for Manly.
Yeah, there's a few injury problems for them, but I think Bob Fulton will have sighted some space out on their right-hand flank, the North's right-hand defensive flank that I think he might be able to utilise, and I'm sure they can do that.
OK, well, they do lead 7-6 in one of our best Friday night football games this year, and a very good Commonwealth Bank Cup game coming up tomorrow as well from Brookvale Oval with St Francis Xavier's College up against Corpus Christi. That's tomorrow at 10 a.m, and from this match we've chosen this as our Coca-Cola Junior Player of the Week.
Steele. Jager bumps away from Kelly, then away from Zafel, and Jager shows some pace on the outside. Now the ball with Kirk inside. They get a try, and it's Dane Gilmore. Great try from Corpus Christi. A replacement player, Dane Gilmore. His first touch is golden.
Well, Jager leaving his stamp on this game. Beautiful run there to straighten up. Not enough cover coming across for St Francis. The ball on the outside to the centre three-quarter Kirk. And look at that, the support on the inside. And that is a tremendous try to Corpus Christi.
A fine try, a great competition, and once again we do thank Coca-Cola for their continued support. Tomorrow at Cameron.
And welcome back to Brookvale, with Manly already up there, the Bears now. Just a little bit later coming from the sheds. Let's have a look at the hit up and tackle counts for both sides. Daniel Gartner has been getting through a lot of work, hasn't he? A heap of it.
Yes, he loves the work, and David Gillespie, Jim Sedaris also well up in the tackle department. Steve Menzies is having another fine game. Good work right there. While for North Sydney, Gary Larson, well, that was no surprise, is it? Plenty of tackles. Mark Soden also going well in both departments, and Billy Moore was having a fine game. Their try scorer, of course, 13 tackles and 6 hit-ups.
Kelvin just blows time on. Manly from right to left. 1 point the margin. This is Trindle now. Opening set of 6 in the second half. Craig Wilson. The benefit of those that just joined us, David Fairley and Matt Sears out of the North Sydney side, and Mark Carroll missing from the Manly team. Wilson's kick finding touch just outside the 20-metre line. A try for Innes in the first half for Manly, and that was replied by Billy Moore. And the difference in the scoreboard came from that man, Matthew Ridge, with a drop goal with a score at 6-0. Steve Roach at half-time, what did you find out?
Yeah, well, Manly are a little bit worried about their enthusiasm in attack. They said their defence is all right. They've scrambled really well. More pressure on Nigel Roy. He's a little bit slow to the football. There was a little quiet talk to Hopewadi about being off his game a little bit in the first half, a bit slow to get to the football. While for North Sydney, their big call in the sheds was, look, we love these games of football. We're only 1 point behind. He said Manly love to be 10 or 20 points ahead, so this could be our night. He wants Craig Wilson to keep them guessing, just keep the ball playing skills going there. The turnovers early in the match in the tackle count didn't do their cause any good. Be patient, don't push the pass, and they must start the second half like they finished the first.
All right, Steve Roach on the sidelines tonight as we find Sedaris now going selectively across to Matthew Ridge, and David Hall not hesitating to offload to his fullback. David will go to dummy half now for Nigel Roy.
And what that does by going to centre field is open up both sides of the field as David Hall, tremendous run, picks up 20 metres, some slack marker defence in general from the Seagulls.
Taylor fires it off for Moore, and now Florimo. Dallas, another scamper by one of the quick men away from dummy half. David Hall on tackle 2. Brett Dallas on tackle 4. And that is Gary Larson. And now Jason Taylor punching it low. Hopewadi shadowed it. Kept him guessing though.
It's a fairly ordinary start to the second half from Manly. North Sydney found a lot of space early on. Their first receivers were running 7-8 metres before they came to a defender. Very unusual to see after a break at half-time.
Tuvey working the scrum back on his own 10-metre line, and then Lyons. Terry Hill back on the park. 2 knocks to the head, and most of us thought that he wouldn't be back. Kosef now. Sedaris using Gillespie. Gillespie's got Cunningham with him. Cunningham has been packing into the front row in the absence of Mark Carroll. Jim Sedaris, 35 metres out from his line on tackle 5. So it hasn't been what you might call an attractive set. The kick from Ridge has bounced back, and it's going to see a scrum 35 metres out almost from the North Sydney line as Mark Carroll watches on.
And whilst Owen Cunningham's done a great job playing in the front row, they have missed Mark Carroll's strong hitting up of the football and his big defence. He loves playing against the good sides and the big forwards.
And on that replay, so there was a real chance to run the football there if the 3 outside Manly support players had have got behind Matthew Ridge. Only Ben Eichen came up already. David Hall was 40 metres back. I wouldn't be surprised if Cliff Lyons reads that and runs the football on the last.
Eichen then. Moore calling Larson up on his inside. Put out of it by Kosef. Soden. And now Williams, he loses it. Tuvey is away from an attempted tackle by Soden. Got away from another. Soden picks him up eventually. Sedaris for Kosef. Lyons, Ridge is outside. Hill is with it. 25 metres out now from the North Sydney line. Manly in a good attacking position. This is their 3rd tackle. Hasler. They've come 18 metres on 3. Now the 4th. Gillespie. Centre of the park. Tuvey to the left. And then he goes back to the right. Picks up Lyons. Inside is Menzies. And 5. Sedaris. Lyons running to the right. Cuts out a player. Picks up Ridger. Easy. Easy stuff by Manly. Cliffy Lyons. Well, they've scored twice, and Lyons, he owns them both, really.
And Matthew Ridge has improved the position. And it was the last tackle, and North Sydney have been vulnerable on that last tackle. That was the mistake. Jeff Tuvey picked up 10-15 metres to get them in better field position. The important thing was that the outside support players from Manly here were deep. Cliff Lyons throws a pass. If we freeze play there, you can see there it's already 3 against 2. That's the widest Manly player. This player here has got to cover him. Can't get there in time, and as play continues, the dummy's thrown. Jason Taylor had no chance to get across. They just created a simple overlap.
Yeah, Pete, the big play there was Owen Cunningham coming through as a decoy. He came outside Cliff Lyons and he takes out Jason Taylor. Taylor had come in to take Cunningham and didn't get the football. That created the overlap. And Cliff Lyons the genius that he is, sets up another one for the Eagles.
So Ridge, having improved the position for himself, converts. And Manly, after 47 minutes, lead by 7 points in Friday night football. 13-6. Manly increasing that cushion. The Bears replied fairly swiftly to their first try. Can they do it again? Last tackle on Gillespie shook the big fellow up. Kosef. That's the 30-metre line. Hasler running away from it. Wilson and Larson combining to make the tackle down on the 40. 8.5 minutes of the second half gone, with Sedaris on 5. And then Ridge punching it, getting a rebound and out on the full off that player, I think.
And a stroke of luck for the Eagles. This will be a Manly feed. He's
come off Aiken's backside. So Manly are going to get the feed. And I know it might have seemed like a fluke, and it probably was, but when you can kick with the accuracy of people like Ridge, Taylor, Stewart, sometimes I wonder whether they are all flukes.
Yeah, I think it's a rule that needs to be looked at. As Kosef throws the dummy on the outside, straightens up, takes it 29 out. Now Manly, I feel as though if they can score next, it's all over.
Innes playing it on the extreme left of the ground. Manly wide, very wide. Lyons and Ridge, they combine again.
Oh, unmarked on the outside. Terry Hill.
Lyons comes back to the open side. Hasler fires the pass for Kosef. Kosef, he loses it behind him. Sedaris, they're all waving to him on the left, and Moore. Danny Moore is held. 5 tackles gone. Sedaris for Lyons. The bomb. Pressure out there for David Hall. He's lost it. Terry Hill. Terry Hill has forced it. It's another try. Manly get another try.
And another perfectly placed kick from Cliff Lyons. I think Terry Hill should have scored 2 rucks ago. But it's all academic now because Cliff Lyons on the last once again has peppered David Hall's wing. One of the new North Sydney players. He went up first, not even really contesting the football. David Hall came off the shoulder, and Terry Hill, all he had to do was fall on it.
Yeah, Terry picks up the crumbs, but it's the Cliff Lyons show, ladies and gentlemen, here at Brookvale Oval tonight. He's in everything, having a fantastic game. The wily old veteran.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Would you have to say old veteran?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm Paul Fortin. I don't know whether Ben Aiken doing the Dame Margot did David Hall any favours, fellas. Now Ridge, and don't tell me he missed it.
Unbelievable.
So let's have a look at this scoreboard. 17-6 after 51 minutes.
Now, well, Benny, he'd have been better off just drifting back and letting David go for it and waiting to pick up the crumbs, Ben. But he'll learn from that. I'm sure his coach Peter Louis might point out the same sort of thing.
What a beautiful move, 2 rucks earlier with Cliff Lyons again, sending through decoy runners, putting Matthew Ridge into a yawning gap. Ridge opting not to pass the ball on the outside to Terry Hill. On a couple of occasions early in the second half, North Sydney have now opened up fairly simply. And now they compound the problems by giving away a penalty 20 metres out from the Manly line.
Yeah, and just looking at this Manly side, they're starting to lift. They can sniff a pretty good victory coming up here.
17-6. This is a point of interest. What was the betting on this match? Paul, you'd know.
13-8 North Sydney. Odds on Manly. I'm not quite sure how far in the red.
You like tomato soup, Paul? Did you take any of it?
No, I don't bet, Ray.
I see.
He gets very excited then because he just knocked me off the seat after they've scored that try with the swinging arms.
Now for Lions, and then for Innes and Moore. They combine. And I might add, they combine very well. Danny Moore has been, I won't say an unsung hero in this Manly side, but he has been playing very well and not getting a lot of raps this year. Ridge at first receiver because the kick was on, and there's the cross kick and backwards marked on the full by Nigel Roy.
That's becoming a common ploy now by most teams in the comp. The cross back kick, and on this occasion just a fraction too deep. But Innes stays on side. That's most important.
Yeah, it's a pretty good tactic because there's so much emphasis on the cross kick. Now most fullbacks are already starting to drift across to the far side to help out the winger. Fairly difficult to turn around and get back to a kick that you weren't expecting in that area.
The Bears get the penalty, their 5th of the game. Jason Taylor with that look of a concerned captain. Things were going along so nicely. 20 minutes gone on the game, no score on the board. They had all the football, all of the territory. Then they had a try scored on them. Now Larson, oh! Roy running through a narrow gap. Nearly paved the way for him to score. Now a chance for Florimo. 10 metres out from the line. Moore. Taylor. Hasler makes the tackle. 5 gone. Soden rolls it in. Oh, the uprights! And the referee has ruled.
Well, he's ruled that Ridge has got it down first. Soden was all over him.
It actually hit the post there. Mark Soden scooting out of dummy half, kicks, comes off the post. Matthew Ridge loses it.
Just on that shot, you'd have to think that this is a try. There's no way that Matthew Ridge has forced it with downward pressure, but I think Mark Soden's got a tiny knock on there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah. But you're dead right. Ridge never grounded it, that's for sure.
So what Kelvin Jeffs has done, he's ruled a breach against Mark Soden. But now I can't work out how North Sydney have got the football.
No, he must have ruled that Matthew Ridge has grounded the football, which is the wrong call.
Here's Florimo now, and Aiken! 9 metres from the line. Chance for the Bears. Wilson's pass for Toshak. Matthew Toshak's a metre from the line. Moore, then through from Wilson. Taylor, long pass for Florimo. Kicks to the corner. Hopewadi's there.
Oh, what a game. I reckon the game's dead blocker. What about this one?
Yeah, this is sensational. Everything you could ask for in the local derby. It's always a keenly contested contest against these two.
Yeah, look, not to be outdone, Peter Louis got some special little plays around the rucks as well that North Sydney have had just a little bit of success with in the last 5 minutes.
Probably should point out too how important that miss from Matthew Ridge may prove to be. He was disgusted that he missed what he would regard as a fairly simple kick. They lead by 11 now. If he'd have converted the try as Tierney makes a bust, they'd have been 13 in front. That means that North would have had to have scored 3 times. I don't think they could have climbed that mountain.
Gary Larson. Taken a bit of a knock. He's okay, though. Soden. Out wide is Billy Moore. And then Ben Aiken.
Look at the touches of this kid tonight, Ben Aiken. He's been closely marked, but everything he's done has had a touch of class about it. He really is shaping up to be something a little bit special, Aiken.
Florimo fending away one, and then for Taylor. Now That's Soden. And just going back to that incident, we were thinking Soden had knocked on, but it might just be that moment in the game that will haunt North Sydney as they reflect. Wilson's kick in the end goal is Danny Moore, and he goes for the pedal now. Roy can't make him. Danny Moore with a big run. That's a beauty for him.
What about that? Fantastic effort there by Danny Moore. First of all, to get to the football, and there's a high tackle on Hopewadi, gone unchecked from Jeffs. You won't see many better efforts getting out of in goal than this one. It's a 60-metre sprint to gain 10.
Cliffy Lyons is off. What's the problem, Steve?
He's just having a stretch. He's had a problem, as we all know, earlier in the season with a hamstring.
Cherry Hill then, talking about the walking wounded. We thought he was gone for the night. He's since resumed and scored a try. Sidarish, fifth tackle. Ridge has dropped in for the kick. Punches it low. And he might have to bring this back. He will. Hopewadi's got a ring around him with Terry Hill. Well, the weight on the kick from Ridge is good. Almost an hour gone in the game. 17-6 Manly.
Well, this is nearly a carbon copy of what Cliff Lyons did in the first half. The same result anyway. A long-range grubber on this occasion and the perfect bounce for the Eagles.
It looks to me as though it's pretty close to the maximum in goal here at Manly. Similar to that big in goal that Sterling used to call his own piece of the park at Parramatta.
A very small one at Parramatta Stadium, and obviously Manly a full length here. There's the line drop out, stopped by Terry Hill at centre field. Taken high by Trindle, low by Stewart.
I saw Fatty measuring the in goal there one day. He was so despondent. Tierney now. Field position, 25, 30 metres out. Gillespie.
Didn't spend a lot of time in goal areas, Paul Morton.
I ran 3 in there one day, if I remember.
Cement plays it now, and then Gartner. Gartner had a very high work rate at the break. Without any of his traditional Bassar. Here's Kosef. Now Menzies! Steve Menzies goes in to score!
Well, North Sydney's outside defence really is struggling to handle this Manly Warringah attack. They're trying to slide across, but the ability of the Manly players to keep the ball alive and their support play is first class. Got the impression here that they were going to slide straight through Manly. Ended up being a ball back to Menzies, which saw the try being scored.
Menzies joins the top try scorers, the 10th of the year for him. He equals up with Peter Clark, Noah Nandruku and Steve Renoff.
Yes, another fine play here. There's decoys all over the place. You've got Tierney going through, and it's caught them once again. Too many numbers out wide. The inside ball, Menzies, no one in front of him, untouched.
Unusual to see Greg Florimo lazy in defence, but he didn't trail across. Both he and Jason Taylor on the inside. They dropped off. There was the number 4 we just went past. Jason Taylor kept going. He missed the tackle. Greg Florimo was still 5-6 metres away from where he should have been.
What a great ball by Nick Cossa falling in the tackle.
Ridge makes no mistake this time. So let's check it. 23-6, 61 minutes gone. Manly over the Bears.
Great deals to Hong Kong with holiday.
Back at Brookvale. And Manly starting to build a very big lead.
He's had a fine game tonight too. Neil Tierney coming off the interchange bench. He's found a home here at Manly. He's been, of course, to St George and then Western. When he arrived here in, I think, January, he weighed something like 125 kilos, and he's trimmed down. He's lost 10 or 12 of them, and he's looking very fit, playing good footy.
Steve Roach, I think I heard you say that you've got a theory to be a force in this competition. You've got to have 3 quality front rowers.
Yeah, I've said that before. Yeah, just the interchange there. They have to come on and off, and unfortunately, it's a better performance tonight from Manly, considering they've got their best front rower on, or the best go forward man on the bench, and that's in Mark Carroll. But Pete, just picking up on Greg Florimo, what you were saying about his defence. Every time I've seen him play in big matches, he's always played tough. I can only assume that he's injured tonight. He hasn't really put his stamp on this match.
Dallas then.
Ooh, high shot here from Gillespie.
But Dallas not feigning any handicap as a result of the tackle. He has got a problem with that left leg, though, that went underneath awkwardly in the tackle.
Yeah, it's just a solid tackle up around the shoulder area, but it's a thin line up there as to whether it's too high. The referee dealt with that one with the penalty. Brett Dallas didn't have too many complaints about it.
Bears back on the halfway line. Weston. Paul, your estimate of Tierney's weight on arrival, you've got him up around 20 stone. It's a big man.
Well, he was something like that. Anyway, he's lost 10 or 12.
It's bigger than Moby Dick. Florimo now. They brought him over in a shark cage. Taylor, quick passing. Williams through. Florimo with Aiken, quick pass. And then Roy, 19 metres away from the Manly line. For Florimo, and a long pass. Taylor with a bullet-like pass. Billy Moore, Ben Aiken. Manly was given the ball under pressure.
Well, a pressure pass here, and he couldn't take it, but this is what's happened to North Sydney. The last few times they've been down in Manly's quarter, they've turned over possession. Another occasion now lets Manly off the hook. Some good interchange of passing. There's the ball there, but taken out. It'll be a Manly penalty.
Gartner is down injured. Let's have a look at this on the replay.
Oh yeah, big swinging arm there from Denny Williams. And this will be a report that touch judges have been called in. That's blatant.
He could have probably pinched both of them, actually.
It's very careless.
Billy Moore and Danny Williams.
Both players have gone on report, Ray, so he's spot on.
Oh, he doesn't miss much. Now, Ravi.
65 minutes gone, 23-6. Matthew Reid saying to the porter, would you mind taking that bag out of the foyer? We'll get on with it.
Oh, the Cliff Line show, ladies and gentlemen.
Talking of Cliff Lyons, Blocker, what's the story now?
No, he's all right to come back on if they do need him, but considering the scoreline, they might save him.
Menzies out wide. Terry Hill wider. Hopewadi snatched at it. Happy night, John Hopewadi. That is Toshak.
He hasn't really recaptured the form of 1995, has he, Hopewadi? He made State of Origin. He played in the World Cup for Australia, but not doing the things this year that he was last season. But a fine player all the same.
Taylor. Williams. Straight up the centre, and Hasler and Tierney were there waiting. That's the halfway line. Now, the never say die of Josh Stewart. And 25 is Weston. 25 metres out. Worse than that. Williams and a short ball. Stewart and Florimo. And now Toshak. And then Dallas. And he's tackled right on the 20-metre line. 5 tackles gone. Big margin between Manly and Norths now. Ridge.
Well, that's the worst possible sign for North Sydney. How they're getting away from their game plan. That was Josh Stewart putting the kick up, and when they've got so many fine kickers in general play in their football team, not the front rower's job to be first receiver in doing that.
Daniel Gardner. 21,217 here tonight. Terry Hill. Refusing to go down, and now taking the play towards the halfway line before Larson makes the tackle and he loses the football. The advantage was there for the Bears, but the touch judge has got something to say.
If it's the tackle by Larson, it was a little bit high, nothing much in that. He's got a rake. Or something, or whatever that one is.
Yeah, that's what the ruling is. I still can't go along with this raking the football. If you've got poor ball security, you should pay the penalty. Terry Hill should be the player who's penalised there by losing possession.
Particularly one-on-one. I mean, the rule was really brought in to stop that second and third player coming in and stealing the football.
Yeah, that was a ridiculous penalty, that one.
Tierney plays it now. And it's with Cunningham and now Gardner as Manly start to mount another attack. Tooby goes back to the right where they've had a lot of luck. Kosef provided that beautiful ball for Menzies to score the last try. Tierney. And Gardner towards the corner for more. North Sydney had a chance, but the referee will play the first knock on.
Well, talking about Nick Kosef throwing a good ball, what about this one from Daniel Gardner? He's gone straight through some flimsy defence. The flick pass with plenty of attention around him to Danny Moore. Beautiful stuff.
Florimo.
Great take, Billy Moore. One hand, left hand. North Sydney's game just starting to fall apart a little bit. They're looking at the scoreboard now and realising that they've got to score points, and all of a sudden doing the uncharacteristic things.
And a good ball. Williams. Taking play about 7 metres into Manly's area. Taylor. And now away from Stewart. Roy is with it. Soden chipped in the chase. And Danny Moore bringing it away again. He's done so professionally tonight on a couple of occasions. Sodaris. Gary Larson is off.
He's played strong again tonight, Gary Larson. He made something like 42 tackles for Queensland. As Kosef gets a half break last Monday night. Here he is 4 nights later. Once again, he's played a terrific game. 31 tackles, only 1 miss.
Dunford now. Dallas comes off for the Bears. Ridge kicks, and a couple of these Manly chasers very close to being in front of the kicker, and I think they knew that. They stayed away. David Hall picked off by Menzies. Hall not to be denied. Tackle just inside the 30-metre line. Now that is young Wade Horder, grandson of the great Harold Horder. And then a knock-on by Michael Butner.
Well, was it a knock-on? It's been ruled that by the referee. I think it's another one of those occasions where the ball's gone back. Still think it's gone back.
I reckon it's gone 2 foot forward, Pete. But the momentum of Butner carried it forward. Owen Cunningham, he's leaving the field now. Great effort by him as well. Another Trojan who backed up from Monday night. Played very well for Queensland, and he's done a great job in the unfamiliar position of front row for the Eagles.
Wade Horder, Rabbi, grandson of Harold Horder. You'd have seen Harold play a few times.
Oh, yeah.
How good was Harold?
Well, here's Craig Innes with a big run. Up and away he goes. Craig Innes scores his second try. 27-6.
Well, I see that Manly firmed into equal premiership favouritism last weekend. And on tonight's performance, they'll be even firmer. Nigel Roy comes up with the missed tackle, a simple crisscross move. And there you see, again, some lazy defence from North Sydney on the inside.
No, Pete, I'll tell you what happened. This is very interesting. This should have been a penalty to North Sydney, because when Terry Hill goes through as a decoy, you watch what he does if it comes up from this one. Well, he takes a player out of the play, and there's the hole. It'll come up on the other shot, the wide shot, but it's an interesting piece of play from Terry Hill. He should have been penalised.
Might have been Ben Eichen that's impeded.
No, it's Michael Buechner. See there?
Oh, yeah, there
Hill's got a hold of him.
Yep.
And Bose will be filthy for me pointing that out. It's there for everyone to see.
It's a very interesting topic of discussion that Paul has raised there, the number of decoy runners that actually take others out professionally to open up a gap. 29-6, 73rd minute.
Well, it's all right to be a decoy, but what you can't do is actually hold on to the person.
Let's have a look. As we freeze play there, there's the two players that have come together. That's Terry Hill and Buechner, and that's the hole opened up for the eventual try scorer. And you can still see Terry Hill still holding on to Michael Buechner, who appeals to the referee, but to no avail.
So, Craig Innes gets his second try of the night. Manly 29-6, giving North Sydney a real whacking now. We had a very, very close game of football to the break at half-time, where I think anybody was happy to take even money. But about either side, I mean, but Manly have really given it to them in the second half. And totally in contrast to the match at Easter, 20-10 to the Bears. Innes.
Well, Manly have been a real nemesis for North Sydney over the last season and a half, as Kosef fires a wide ball to Danny Moore in the centres. Big losers last year on two occasions, 30-0 and 36-6. It'll be another fairly demoralising defeat tonight. Keeping the ball alive, Manly, at their best with the ad-lib football. Still flicking it, keeping it alive.
And still play on. Gartner. Good ball up for Des Hasler. Can he offload? No, he knocks on.
He must have nearly been offside there. That Dunford.
Yeah, you're quite right. It should have been a penalty. Dunford was in an offside position, and he has robbed any chance of the advantage going to North Sydney. So obviously it has to be a penalty. 29-6. 4 minutes of the game remaining. And of course, the Roosters have got a couple of very big matches coming up. This win tonight. Could see, of course, Manly on top on their own. Of course, they've got to keep winning. This is 9 on the trot for them. 7 out of 7 at home. Buechner's pass is a mile forward. David Hall then. Quick passing, but the ball knocked down. Referee rules that it was lost, but I think the touch judge is going to come in and suggest that it was knocked down by Manly. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a penalty here, but let's see what he's going to rule. He's gone way back over for a late tackle, I think, on David Hall. It's John Hopewati being called down. It happened right in front of the touch judge below our main cameras. And it's... Well, if that's what it's over, my goodness. Let's watch it again on another camera. Heavens above, what's wrong with that? Well, I think Kelvin Jeffs probably had a good sight of it anyway. Anyway, it's been done now. The penalty has gone to the Bears. Not for the reasons that I thought they might. Williams. Almost 78 minutes on the clock. Billy Moore. A real thoroughbred, isn't he, Billy Moore? Paul was talking about workload. Good passing by the Bears. A chance for Toshack. Just a couple of blades of grass away. They go for it again. Now, wild passing. Taylor corrects that. Weston. 7 metres out from the line. Billy Moore. Taylor back. Loose ball. Billy Moore can't handle it. Now he'll rule the knock-on against North Sydney and put a scrum down 10 metres away from the line.
And North still can't crack it for a try. There was some great last-ditch defence there from Manly over in this right-hand corner. I mean, look, they're leading 29-6. Manly are entitled to drop off a fraction and not let them in for a try, but take it easy. And they're not doing that, that's for sure.
Well, at the end of what's been a bad week for you, there's some respite here. You can see it on your face.
Oh, it's been a great win by the Manly side up against a very strong North Sydney outfit, despite the fact they were without Matt Sears, Chris Caruana and David Fairley. They've lacked their best go-forward man, Mark Carroll, and they've worn North Sydney down. North Sydney had, a lot of the play going for them in the first half and couldn't take advantage of it.
Dunford. Oh, gee. Getting a bit willing. Hasler offloading for Kosseff. Kosseff put down by Moore and Stewart. And the familiar sight, Terry Hill with the ice pack on the head. Cliffy Lyons not required back into the game. And the kicking game, oh dear. The kicking game has been left to Matthew Ridge as Nigel Roy knocks on back towards his own 20-metre line. And I think Peter Sterling would agree that that was a knockback. There's the siren anyway. No worries. Manly 29, North Sydney 6.